Hello, everyone.
Oh, there's a podcast.
Yes, I just said hello.
Oh, hello, podcast. I'm Arby.
I'm Marianne, and welcome to Not a Secluded Corner in the...
Secluded Corner.
Ironically.
Wait, who came up with this idea?
I think I did.
I think you did,
Yeah.
That's very creative. So, doing the title card, would it be like a secluded corner? Or like with the not crossed out? Or would it be like a not with like the no sign and it on top of the no sign is crossed out? How would that look?
I think like that. Or it could just be welcome to the Secluded Corner.
Welcome to the secluded corner. Not!
No, exactly.
It's like a total fake out.
But is it?
That's a good question. Because like normally when people have conversations in the secluded corner, I guess we should bring people up to date on the lore of the secluded corner. So the secluded corner is this lovely alcove in the Newman Center at the University of Toronto St. George campus.
Downtown.
And what's really cool about it is that there's this one little alcove, aforementioned, that has these two lovely chairs and usually a table with a gigantic Bible and a lovely stained glass portrait of Cardinal Newman. And the beautiful thing about this place is that two people can just sit there and have a conversation. And
Or not.
Or not. It's not necessarily a secluded corner. And they can just sit there and have a conversation that they think is completely private. Because they think they're in the corner, they think they're isolated, they think they're secluded. But what ends up happening is that because it's just a part of a larger room, it's not remotely private, and everyone else can just hear you talking, especially when you forget that you're supposed to be talking privately, and you start laughing, and you start giggling, and you start raising your voice, and all these other things. So yeah, that's a little bit of the lore, as we bring people up to speed, so people get the sort of the metatextual analysis of everything we're doing today.
But now that we're getting back, it's basically quiet here. People just here listen to lectures or just sleep. I mean, people sleep anywhere, but that's why I identify with this place specifically.
But how do people sleep anywhere? That's what really gets me.
I don't know.
Because I can basically only sleep in night bed.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Whereas there are people, I'll just see them just totally like laid out on the couch in like the middle of some public place, just out of it. And I was like, that is so amazing. How do you do that? How do you just develop it's not fortitude, it's
ability?
Willingness to engage in somnolescence. I think that's the word. I think drowsiness, like somnolescence is just a fancy word for drowsiness.
Oh.
Like how can you indulge your drowsiness? That's some people just can't. Like some people need their special blanket and their quilt and their pillow that like they knit in 7th grade or something.
And lavender. The smell of it.
The smell of lavender. Just get like a can of Febreze by your bed. Oh. It's like on the can, hints of chloroform. It's like, what's going on? Well, it smells like a garden. What's going on?
Knocks up.
Well, speaking of being tired,
yeah.
Lent is still going on.
Yeah.
We're
second week.
Yeah, we're in the second week of Lent,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty wild because I forgot that we were doing Lent.
Yeah.
Everything just blended together. I was like, okay, I've given up. Like, if I've given up, what's the point of me giving stuff up? You know what I mean? I've given everything up.
At this point.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I've been keeping up with my fasting till 3. It's actually like past 5 p.m. right now, like 5:30, and I still haven't eaten. I will after filming this, for sure. Don't worry, guys. But yeah. It's causing me to be tired, cold at times. The first, I think Friday, I experienced hypoglycemia. Like, I woke up with my head hurting.
Oh my.
Yeah, it wasn't good, but now I'm good. Like, I've gotten used to it. And I've learned to eat properly at night to get my calories in for the next day, or like just to function.
You're showing your pancreas who's boss.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
I mean, you can do like a long term. I mean, what 40 days, 45 days? You have a long term study basically, right? So that's pretty wild.
Well, how many more left?
Too many? Probably 30 something.
Yeah.
That's a while.
Long while.
I was supposed to, so I shaved, but then I realized that's not really a Lenten observance because that's a thing you do once for 5 minutes. So then I was like, okay, how do I adjust that? So then I realized, well, I want to trim the beard, right? I want it to look presentable. Then I realized, well, the whole point was that I didn't want to be able to control how nicely I looked with regard to the hair, as you can tell. So I was like, okay, why don't I just make it so I can't like adjust it in any way then. Just whatever happens, happens. So that's going well. It's not too itchy. Like we went through a good few days where I was scratching myself raw and it was not pleasant. But we're past that now. We're now in the stage. Yeah, we're now in like the post stubble phase.
The post stubble.
Yeah. So that's fun. But then I realized for my other thing I was supposed to like cut down on social media. The problem is that cut down is not a very specific term in the slightest. So what ended up happening was by the Friday after Ash Wednesday, nothing had changed. I was like, okay, I'm done using Reddit. Let me go to Instagram. Oh, I'm done using Instagram. Let me go to Twitter. Let me go back to Instagram. Let me go back to Twitter. And it was just like, something's not working here because I'm just browsing aimlessly until 1:30 in the morning. But I have a lecture the next day.
Yeah.
And like something's not right here. So I'm gonna have to go back to the lab and sort of sports science it up, you know. And like get that sports psychologist look into, okay, what's working here with your mentality, what's not working, you know, what can I do, what can't I do? Maybe lay out some rules. I don't know.
Yeah, some steps or like yeah, see if you can decrease it by increments, like the first week or so or day, like probably an hour, and then you increase it as you progress.
I've heard people do that for when they're trying to quit, like smoking or something.
Yeah.
They go from like a pack to half a pack and so on and so forth. That's an interesting idea. I guess I could try that out. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. What happens when that fails?
You pray.
Oh boy.
It's like, God, where am I going wrong?
Yeah.
Help me. Give me the strength that you had during your 40 days in the desert.
Yeah, that's wild. 40 days in the desert. Like, they don't have water bottles in first century Palestine.
They don't have all the food that we have now. Like
No.
the accessibility of it.
No, they just had like bread, and it wasn't like the best bread ever, right? It was just like grain and water thrown into a big pot.
Put in a fire. Bread.
It's funny how heat is the universal constant. You can put anything in an oven, and it will turn out golden brown and delicious.
If you don't leave it in for too long.
No, it's all about that sweet spot. Which, funny enough, is like, isn't that the whole thing? It's like the browning. The browning reaction turns. It makes proteins denature, and then they break down into sugars.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, I don't know, when you brown meat or whatever, it's got this sort of
caramelization.
Yeah. There you go. Caramel. Oh. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, actually. It's funny how like all the tangled webs that we weave, turn into sort of like a delicious steak dinner or vegan steak dinner. Delicious. But if you with regards to vegan steak. They all converge into something coherent, but you would never think they'd be coherent. You know what I mean? Like you, for example.
Me.
You, Marianne.
I, Marianne.
You, Marianne. You might be focused on something, doing a task, thinking, how am I going to get this done?
Yeah.
And then I might walk in, and say, "Oh, hi, Marianne, how's it going?" And then you might say, "Oh, hi, Artemis, I'm doing quite well, thank you." Right? And in that moment, I've taken you out of the task.
You did.
Right? And, hypothetically, or rather, I'm hypothetically sorry for doing that.
Which you may or may not be.
Well, of course. It's never it would not be my intention to deprive you of the opportunity to do your work. But in that instant, I'm replacing the one good with another temporary good that is of my company. You would agree with this, of course.
Depends on the day.
It depends on the day.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I'm kidding, no.
What would be a bad day?
What would be a bad day? When my stomach is ouchy.
Oh yeah.
Then that's a bad day, and that's why I don't want to say hi to people.
Well, what do you have at 3 in the afternoon? Like what do you have when your time has come?
I don't know.
No. Like I mean, what do you normally like prep for yourself?
Procrastination.
You eat procrastination?
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. I just eat whatever's in the fridge. Honestly.
I see. Have you learned like what works better to kind of hold you off? Do you eat like a second meal later in the evening?
Yeah, so like sometimes when I pack a lunch, I pack like something that's light, it's like bread with like egg or cheese, or sometimes half a bowl of noodles. And then once I get home, which is like around 6 or 7, then I'll eat with my family. Like another vegetarian meal, and then incorporate peanuts for protein, and then I'll have a yogurt.
Wow. I love how like at the same time it's like depends on whatever's in the fridge the previous day. But that it's like it's so planned.
Yeah.
Has that structure helped?
Yes. It gives me time frames for the day so that I can position my mind throughout the day so I don't forget things.
Do you have extra time in the day now that like, if you had like 3 meals before, now you're just like that and that and that?
Yeah, I could just focus on whatever I need to do for school, and then once 3 happens, then I can procrastinate and eat, which is really good. I mean, it's not good for the body, but at the same time, it's good for my mind.
I mean, I guess you're forcing your body to like, kind of go into hard mode.
Yeah, well, back then, when we were like in the caveman era.
Sure. Back when we were back in the good old days.
Yeah. Our bodies were made to fast and to like starve before our next meal, and then now we're just constantly eating. Yeah. What? Did I just choke on myself? I did.
That's okay. Speaking of choking, speaking of food, what did our caveman relatives do? Because like they started, you were saying, but we don't. We just kind of eat every half an hour.
Whenever we want to.
We just shove a granola bar in our face.
What did they eat? Whatever they caught. What did they catch? I don't know.
Fish,
yeah.
it's hard to catch like a bell pepper. It's just kind of sitting there waiting for you to take it.
Yeah. But
I guess carrots. Carrots are kind of devious. Carrots, like all the root vegetables, because you think that the bounty, the catch, so to speak, is the little thing coming out of the ground. No. It's this giant purple, orange, green, insert color here monstrosity that's just been hidden under the soil for months and months and months as it just goes longer and longer and longer. It's burrowing into the ground, like.
What carrots do you eat?
Okay, maybe not carrots. It's not like a nuclear reactor or something. It's like drilling into the sea, like the BP experiment in the Gulf of Mexico. But in my defense, who had the idea to be like, I found this thing. I found this like small monstrosity. A small purple thing, or a small orange, green, yellow thing. Corn. Wait, no, corn grows.
Gross up.
It doesn't count. Okay, carrots and onions. I'm gonna take this thing that makes my eyes water because of the sulfur in them. I'm gonna put this in the ground and grow a bajillion of them, and then I'm gonna. But then, like the first time you were to plant it, you'd be like, "Where did the plant go? It's not there. It's not on the surface." You need to just dig and get your arm dirty. Yeah, you're like an archaeologist.
Yeah.
As I said, the orange monstrosity. Well, no, we're talking about onions. Onions are a monstrosity precisely because they are disgusting raw. Like you would never take a bite out of a raw onion 4,000 years ago and be like, this is something I want my entire family to cultivate for the next 4 generations. You know what I mean? I mean, would they have had food safe pottery by then? Or sorry, water safe pottery?
Maybe. Like, they probably had it, but it wasn't water safe. But they still used it anyways. It's just later on they discovered, oh, there's something bad in this. Let's take it out.
Of the pottery?
Yeah.
Oh. Because, like, what was the original pottery? It was, like, mud and water.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just left it out in the sun to dry, right?
Yeah.
It's like that guy. The YouTube guy. Primitive technology or whatever. He's this shirtless Australian man who, without talking, has like this random forest in New South Wales or whatever, and he just builds these pre-industrial, prehistoric sort of things, right? And I would watch his videos and I'd be so entranced. You know, he's making a hut. He's making arrows and bows and hammers and axes out of a rock and a piece of wood, and then he's doing that thing where he spins the stick to make the fire. I'm like, whoa, how do you do that? That's so interesting. Of course, the reality is like 95% of the people back then who tried to do that would have all miserably failed and starved.
Mm-hmm.
How fortunate are we that we don't have to make our own fire?
Yeah, you just push a button and like the heat turns on.
Yeah, the fire button, you know.
Yeah.
You just have a flamethrower button on your AC.
That's basically your stove and oven too.
Oh yeah. If you have a gas stove, it's literally a flame.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. So then the trick is use your stove to make bricks. I think we've just invented pottery.
Reinvented.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what this kiln is everyone keeps talking about. But you could just take your oven that you cook your carrots or onions or that purple monstrosity. I guess it's an eggplant. I guess that would be a purple monstrosity.
But eggplants grow on top of the ground, not in the ground.
But like with the way that people use them as emojis, they are monstrosities at this point. So I think we could qualify them as such.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
And then you take all these vegetables, you put them in an oven, and they turn into this lovely roasted, you know, caramelized, all that foodie stuff. Mm-hmm. But you could do the same thing with pottery, right? And that would make it like hardened and resistant to cracking and stronger. Did I say stronger?
No, you didn't.
And stronger.
And stronger. No, you didn't.
Oh, did I say it again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. More, let's say, resistant to cracking. Oh, wait, I already said that. Yeah.
So like, you're describing yourself.
I'm resistant to cracking? What kind of cracking are we talking about here, Mary?
I don't know. Laughter.
Oh, cracking up?
Okay, maybe you're not like pottery.
No. I'm far too pale.
Me too.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think your face is closer to pottery
than my hands.
Than your hands. Yeah. Yeah, it's got sort of this like orangey glow. Not like a spray tan of a certain someone, but more like a radiant sort of emission. Emission. You emit this radiance, this sort of vaguely orangish light. It's also maybe something to do with the actual orangey, warm lighting around us.
And the walls too.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
They're beautifully
No.
eggshell.
Yeah, eggshell. Cream. More like cream, because eggshell's a dirty white, and this is dirtier. But it's not because it's dirty; it's the paint itself.
Yeah.
Clarifying.
And eggshells are never this big, to be honest. Like,
No.
I've never had an eggshell be the size of a 8-foot wall before. I guess you could take all the eggshells and then like pound them into calcium carbonate or whatever, and then you could make a wall out of eggshells. Like chalk. You can make a wall out of chalk with the calcium derived from
eggshells.
Yeah. And that would be a true eggshell colored wall.
New house project.
That, oh my gosh, like one of those like Love It or Listed TV shows where like they sell the house.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so cool. Yeah, we're gonna build a new wall, and just to save on costs, so we're gonna be
eggshells.
2,000 eggshells like delivered from a landfill or something, from some Ontario chicken farmer. Doug and the Templeton family. Have you ever seen those ads of like, I'm all these like trying to promote local farmers or whatever?
The only advertisements that come to mind are the ones I find in the U.S. when we travel there, when we watch the TV on medication, and then like they list all of the complications.
Oh yeah.
Like the symptoms or whatever. Like, whoa, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely seen a few ads for like depression medication where I'm like, am I supposed to be taking this or?
This for me?
Yeah. Oh. That's not exactly what I meant. But thanks. Thanks for the vote of confidence, man. I guess I meant like with all the side effects, is it even worth taking? I guess that's the bigger question.
That's for your doctor to find out and not for you to worry about. Maybe once you have that consultation, but yeah.
I mean, just as doctors, they know best what we do with our bodies. I believe that I don't know what's best. That's why I need to put the rules in place for my Lenten observances. There you go. There's your segue. Okay.
And because we both know what's best, I think it's best to cut the show here. Unfortunately.
Wow, well done, Master Marianne.
Yeah.
We'll see you whenever we see you. I don't really know who you are personally. So.
Thanks for sticking by with us in the secluded corner.
We really appreciate it.
It's finally not a secluded corner, but we are here. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Guys. Archaeology. Wow.
Hold on. It's still going, so if you guys want to continue, we can.